Chair and vice chair.
You want to do that first meeting?
Is it first meeting? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was thinking we had to do that. Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our December 17th, 2018 meeting of the County Commissioners. We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start our meeting with our attorney, Matt Shipman.
I just have two things to report, one of which is, George, we should just get back to you. I did review a new program, what we could call it, right? Tax refund exchange and compliance system, to see if this is something that makes sense for us to get involved with. Basically what it does is it allows, through the state, when somebody gets a tax refund, if they still owe us fines and things from their criminal justice involvement, we can use those tax refunds now to be able to, same way they do it with child support, it's just an extension of that. So I did review
At the
this.
state level? I mean, it has to be state refund, not federal refund.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
that's this branch of it. There may be, that's what this deals with. There may be a federal element as well. I'm not
Okay,
sure,
but state, okay.
Yeah, and so I did review this, and this seems appropriate. It's the same form that we've used throughout the state, and so I don't know if anybody's
Julie
here.
Jensen Kelly presented that to me, and they're having an issue with, at Community Corrections, getting the people that pay overdue bills and fines. So what they're asking us is, it's getting to be a large number, and they're asking that we approve this tax refund exchange and compliance system for they're able to get the tax refunds.
And it's through the AIC, so, I mean, it's a very legitimate organization.
I think the state's kind of pushing this out to everybody, saying the program to help make sense, just like child support is dealt with the same way. So.
If there's a chance to get some money from work release, then we definitely need to pursue it.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this program and put it into our system.
Okay, we've got a motion.
The actual contract is the back part of there, which you guys can see.
Okay.
It's paper clipped in the back. That's what you'll actually have to sign.
Okay.
Second.
I should have put that in front.
Okay, we've got a second. Any further discussion?
Maybe, let me see, may have to say it for you to sign it.
David?
Yeah, they're all there.
All three.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
Is there any fees from the state for doing this?
I think it's a percentage of the collection. I can't remember the exact amount. They don't do it for free, but it wasn't a real high percentage either. It was one of those where either if you don't pay it, you're not getting it. So we're just hoping that the individuals pay it.
And the obligation has to be at least $25.
Yeah, that's true. It has to be a minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Julie will be happy.
Well, thank her for bringing that to our attention.
We will.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, how long does it take that to get implemented?
Yeah.
We have to turn a list of claims in, I suppose, and however long it takes them to be able to do that.
And if it goes through the state, it'll be a while.
Maybe, I'm guessing not this tax year, but maybe.
Not this tax year.
That's Julie's question.
Yeah. I think she wanted us to try to get it through this meeting, the possibility that they could do it for 2019.
The only other thing I had to report on is just to kind of give you an update is I think you guys are aware that an individual named Doug Dyson's been sending us a lot of freedom of information requests, not only to the commissioners but to the sewer district. And Jan and I and Angie have all been working on that a lot lately. His property got sold in the tax sale. He doesn't believe he owes property taxes based on some things he's done. He's appealed that decision. That's going to go up to the Court of Appeals, and I literally just got off the phone with him before I came over here, and apparently he's filing some complaints as well with Public Access Counselor related to some of our responses. So that's going to be an ongoing thing we're going to have to deal with, and I'll keep you updated as time goes on.
Well, I saw the list of, I'm all for public records, I got it, I totally get it. But I saw the list he wanted from the regional sewer district, and it will take a long time to get all those records around. It just will. You can put one person on it, say don't do anything but get these records around, and it's going to take a while. So some of them are just not right.
And we have had some, I guess I should say, I have had conversations with the Public Access Counselor, who's kind of, in charge of making sure people comply with that. And my conversations thus far, they feel like we've complied with his requests, but he doesn't feel that way, so we'll
Sure, he wouldn't feel that way. I get it.
Don't have anything else, but if stuff comes up, I'm going to be here.
Could I have like a second to go get my pamphlet? I got my
sure.
Hughes.
Yep.
Do you have yours?
Yep.
Okay, here. You got yours?
You pay some of those out of that, right? Amazing. Okay, next on our agenda, we have Mindi Conrad with Hughes Insurance Company.
He looks nothing like me.
I'm not Mindi. Good afternoon. I'm David Callahan with Walker Hughes. I'm one of the principals and the vice president of the organization. With me today, I actually brought our public entity team as well. So I've got Doug Walker, who's actually the president of our agency and our in-house municipality specialist. So brought him today for any questions. Ray Gage is a work comp guy and also the cyber liability. He holds a designation of less than 20 people in the United States of a master's work comp. So we brought him to check out your work comp and your cyber as well to give you some different things he recommends on that. In the back we have Kevin Mandrell, who you've met before on the health insurance. Our local team of Mindi and Jackie, and then in the back we have Daryl Finch, part of the health insurance. And we actually have 2 reps from the company that we brought to present as well. The interesting thing is Stacy Edgell, and if you guys are aware of her, she's actually local here in Columbia City, so any sort of loss control would actually be done locally by someone that you're familiar with as part of the community, so we think that's an advantage as well that we bring. In short, talking about the property and liability, we've got a couple things we wanted to discuss with you. We found a couple problems with your policy that you currently have. Some of the major things would be you have some areas right now that are open to the public that currently don't have any liability. It's actually excluded on your current policy. We thought that was something that probably needed to be addressed. There was also some vehicles on your policy that are all actually insured on another policy too, so you have them double insured, so you're paying for nothing on those. And most importantly, something that we're bringing is we have a significant savings for you guys to check over as well. So, part of our agency focus is municipalities. We currently write over 30 public entities, including 3 other counties. So this isn't something we're just starting to get into or something we're, unsure of what we're doing. We brought our team that specializes in this today, and we're prepared to give you a full presentation at another time. So I'm going to go ahead and let Ray come up and talk a little bit about some of the work comp and the cyber liability.
Afternoon.
Hey.
This is hard. I'm going to hold on to this like this because I'm used to walking around when I talk. So, we just, on the work comp side of things, one of the things that we believe in is taking a more holistic approach to your workers' compensation, and that part of that is working in tandem with the benefits team, because we believe your work comp and employee benefits, you're not just buying a piece of paper to cover a vehicle or a building. You're actually helping your people. So this is more about your employees, doing what's best for your employees, not just from a health insurance standpoint, but also for work-related injuries. And so what we like to do is we like to surround you with other tools, not just a piece of paper that says, here, you give us some premium and we'll take care of your claims. But we want to give you some advice, for example, on your claims. We identified 3 of the claims that are driving some of your cost right now, that just a little bit of advice might have been able to help you manage it better. For example, if I said to any one of you, if you give me $400, I'll give you back $14,000. Would you be interested in taking that deal? So you actually have three claims similar to that on your policy, where I'm not sure you received that advice. So that's one of the things that we like to bring to the table on the work comp side. We also like to help you with OSHA record keeping, because a lot of people now that are subject to the electronic OSHA record keeping and are not aware of that. But we bring that tool to the table as well, along with the injury management. We also have an HR tool that we bring to allow your HR team, as they're dealing with the employees, to help assist them in implementing not just safety programs on the work comp side, but any HR-related issues. So it actually is a broader brush than what you would get from normally from a workers' comp standpoint. And then the third thing we bring is we actually bring a complete turnkey process for workers' compensation for your HR and safety people to be able to implement. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel. We actually give them the wheel, and then we come out and show them how to drive it, and allow them to be able to put those processes into place. On the cyber side, cyber liability is one of those things that just not a lot of people know or understand. You guys have a policy now, or the county has a policy now for cyber, and one of the most glaring problems with your current policy is it's actually a reimbursement policy. So basically the insurance company is asking you to be the expert. They will, however, allow you to talk to an attorney, a cyber attorney. They'll pay for the first hour. So at least you have somebody to talk to for free for an hour, but after that you're on your own. And then they'll reimburse you once the claim is settled. So that's a huge problem in my estimation. I mean, there's very few people that understand cyber to begin with, let alone know how to manage it from a forensic standpoint, from a legal standpoint, from an IT standpoint even. So the solution that we bring is actually with a carrier that's known as one of the top 3 best in the industry for their breach response services. So that's one of the things that we would like to recommend, that you make a change on that, just for that one reason alone. So that's just a real quick hit on the highlights, because I know we have a limited amount of time. I'd be happy to go into more details on some of those things for you at a later date. But did you have any questions quick before I move to?
On the workman's comp, do you work with IPEP at all, or is that who you deal with?
Well, we do, but we actually would bring an alternate solution to the table, because we're able to work with them a little bit more on some of the other pieces that we can't. That's one of the things that's kind of more in-depth discussion to explain what those are, which we'd be happy to explain to you. But we do work with IPEP as well, so we have the option of continuing with IPEP or with going to a different carrier on the work comp, just depending on.
Can we ask you what carrier you use?
Yeah, we're using Benchmark Insurance Company. They're an A- rated company. I don't know if you are part about the umbrella.
It's actually
Either way. Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anything?
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Good seeing you again. I'm Kevin Mandrell. I am the Benefits Director with Walker Hughes. Darrell and I primarily focus on employee benefits for companies. We do a lot of municipalities. We work with counties, cities, towns, townships, hospitals, schools, things like that. So we spend a lot of time focusing on what drives cost. We are focused on the analytics. We look at the claims data. We find what is driving cost. We use a lot of predictive modeling and the analytics to help you forecast not just a one-year strategy for your employee benefit program and your cost, but we try to find a more effective strategy to give you a 3 to 5 year platform to work off of so you're not being so reactive. We also do spend a lot of time focused on building clinics if that's a direction that the commissioners want to look at. A lot of cities, towns, counties have taken that approach. Some have been extremely successful in controlling costs. Others, on the other hand, have not had as much success as they first thought they would have. And again, it's about who's driving the bus on those things. So, and I know again with commissioners, you guys are focused on what the taxpayers' expenses are there. So we're very mindful of that as well. Some of the counties we've worked on, Hancock County being one, in a 6-year arrangement that we had with them, we saved them over $13 million in that timeline. So there are good, effective ways to drive that, and we certainly feel like we're experts in that area. And I know that that's not your focus today. You're looking more on the workers' comp and the property casualty, but I know that we've spoken to Ms. Campbell, and I know there's been some issues, not only on the cost and looking at your side and how you provide benefits to your employees while maintaining cost structure for the taxpayers, but it also requires that your employees are effectively enrolled and that the benefits that they have. So I know there have been a lot of issues with service, and I think as you check our references, you'll see that clearly service is something we strongly focus on to make sure that your support people, the people that you depend on to run the county every day, are not abandoned in that process. So would you gentlemen have any questions for me? Anything that you've observed other counties doing? Anything that I could assist in answering?
Is your health program self-funded, like
Yes.
you currently have?
Yeah, a lot of the bigger counties like you have here would still maintain a self-funded platform. But again, if you're not mining the data, if you're not looking at the analytics and the claims, you're somewhat walking in the dark with that stuff. So while you're self-funded, there's a lot of data and information there that clearly needs to be looked and analyzed to give you a more proactive structure on how you design your plan, what networks, what discounts, how do you partner with the county hospital, things like that. There are a lot of ways that you can use that information because you are self-funded to be more aggressive with how your spend goes there.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
When you're dealing, you were talking about building clinics. Are you more of a consultant for that? Is that what you do?
Great question, Commissioner. Yeah, there are several. Actually, Indiana is kind of where clinics developed. We have several vendors nationally, but a lot of them are based right here in Indiana. And we have a good working relationship with all of them. So when we look at the needs of the county and what your objectives are as far as providing wellness for employees and their dependents, if you're looking for a way to even mitigate part of the workers' compensation, things like that, we basically would write your RFP for you, put it out to bid, and then look at all the vendors, and then bring our recommendations to you to see what best fits the needs of the county.
When you're sending out for bid, do you use multiple vendors then to
Yes.
bid? How many?
Well, in the clinic space, there's probably 3 or 4 that I'm comfortable with, and they all have experience in the municipality business.
I was thinking more of the health insurance. Do you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, for the self-funded arrangements that you have, we have several vendors on the third-party administrators that we would work with, and we actually have our own separate proprietary space for the stop-loss carrier, where we'd actually would shop the stop-loss with 25 vendors outside of the third-party administrator. We try to control as much of that process as we can. We let the third-party administrators do what they do well. We feel like we're pretty good at managing the stop loss and maintaining the cost controls there. And then the same would even go with your pharmacy benefit managers. As you commissioners may or may not know, there are some extreme benefits to municipalities in the state of Indiana that were designed several years ago when Mitch Daniels was governor to help us negotiate our pharmacy spends. And in fact, the municipalities that we've worked with, by migrating their pharmacy benefit manager programs over, we've saved counties as much as 30% on their pharmacy expense, which, you know, that's a significant cost overall with your health care. And again, we're not making changes to where the employees are incurring that. I mean, it's legitimate savings and discounts and rebates that are currently being offered, but they're going to other people at this moment. That's money we feel like should stay with the county and the employees.
Do you find that from year to year that your increases, what would be an average increase, do you think?
Great question. This year, as an example, for the city of Batesville, we were able to reduce their health care costs by 15%. So I would say most of the municipalities I've worked on this year have been at a rate hold or a significant reduction. And I would say to you, the city of Batesville, they've been a client of mine for over 20 years. I'd say in the last 8 years, they have not had any rate increase at all. Again, if you build it the right way up front, as you know, if you build the proper foundation, going forward, there's no surprises with that. It's going to be consistency and a lot of control, and I don't know if that's what you have experienced in the past or not, but I can just tell you that that's a platform that you should be working toward.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Real quick, I'll wrap things up here. Did want to touch real quick on your question regarding IPEP. We do work with IPEP. In fact, Doug actually sits on the board of IPEP, so very familiar with IPEP, very comfortable using them as well. I think some of the stuff that Ray can offer, though, through Benchmark is intriguing, and it's something to take a look at as well.
Okay.
So one thing I do want to point out and recommend is 1/1 is the date on that work comp suite. Time is of the essence on looking at some of that. So we do recommend, giving us a chance at the full proposal to go over that with you. Any questions for me or anyone on our team?
Not right this time, but I'm
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. We really do.
anxious to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah.
Great. And I would say, commissioners, excuse me, even though your employee benefits are not up for renewal right now, those are things that at any point in time, as you hire our firm and bring us in, sooner than later, as you know, the more time we have to actually dig in and look at your program there, the better the results will be.
Yeah. August is our renewal date, but we usually start January, February for.
Perfect. It's a great time for us to start. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Dan Weigold, new beacon features.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, taking information on three different items. One, our way we pay our bills for our beacon site. We currently pay them once a month. When it was established back in 2006, we wanted to make sure we'd get what we paid for. Obviously, we've been with the Beacon now for 12 years.
Dan, could you explain Beacon for everyone?
Yeah, Beacon is our county website. It's our county GIS website where people come and search for parcels, sales data, local drains, a little bit of everything's on our Beacon site, and that's what we're going to show here in a little bit of the number of visitors that we've been able to service from anywhere in the world, quite honestly. We went from in 2000, I had it all right. Getting to the age, back in 2008, we had an average of 147 visitors a day on our site, and now in 2018, we're up to 582 visitors a day. So it's quite a popular service that we provide to the county and state and quite honestly nation. Bring that to you, but when we pay for this, we've been paying for it once a month, and it would sure help streamlining things if we could pay for that once a year or 6 months, however you want to choose. We pay $750 a month to host that, have Schneider Corporation host the site. Like I say, it's just, I talked to Jana about that and talked to Nathan about it, and either way, you know, I'm just, right now we're turning the invoice in every month, and it's just not the way it'd be so much easier if I could have permission to go ahead and pay it either whatever you wish, once a month, or once a year, or every 6 months. Either way, we're paying for it.
Yeah.
It's just easier to keep the books.
So you're looking right around 9,000? Is that what the cost is? Is that seated?
That all comes out of seated.
That's seated. Yeah.
Out of the GIS fund that's set up. That all comes out of that. Everything else I pay, all of our other maintenance fees, I pay at the end of the year, out of my budget or out of the seated money that's set aside for that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I can show you the advancement that has happened with the number of people. A lot of it's internal use, which I'll be talking to you about another tool that I'd like to see us purchase. Like I say, when something doesn't work right, we get a lot of phone calls. So and that's why I would like to compliment Kim, our assessor, and Jan, our auditor, because they went through a upgrade with their Exhaust software, and there was a recent update in the MVP tax data, and whenever that happens, I need to know about it, because there's links that what's hard for IT to understand is everything's all linked together now, and if something happens that I don't know about, then that's when the phone calls happen, and people recognize that very thanks to their work, you know, it was cut down to a couple of weeks where the information wasn't working properly. But it's all working fine now, thanks to the work of Jim and Janice Oates.
Good.
Everything should be up and running.
Thank you. I don't think we need a vote for this, do we?
No, just give us the invoice.
Yeah, yeah.
So first of all, I'd like to seek permission to, because I held off on paying January's bill until I found out if it's okay to pay for the whole 2019.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement that you can do that.
Dan, is it a year-long contract that we're paying?
Well, it's,
I mean, what do we?
well, it's kind of a.
Is it a contract? We have a contract.
I don't think we do.
I don't remember it being a contract.
Really been a contract.
I think it's a
It's
payment
just like
for
a service
services.
fee.
Yeah, it's a service agreement that we've been doing since 2006.
Well, and Gina was just asking me, like, should we be paying, what if we decided in February we're not going to do it anymore, and we paid for 11 months? I mean, that's the issue, I suppose, unless it's guaranteed that they're going to provide the service through the length of payment or the
I don't think there's many alternatives to Beacon.
There isn't, I don't think.
There's a couple,
Tapestry.
39 Degrees North has a site that, you know, I've looked at, but the cost to change it over to them is quite substantial, so.
Yeah.
And that's why
Plus-
Danny had to come to you guys.
Yeah.
It's because it is different.
And that's, I still think we're fine.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
Great. Next, there's some new tools that are available with Beacon. It's another service provided that we can offer, and a lot of it has to do with sales of property. And that's a touchy issue when dollar amounts being put out on the web on our Beacon site. We've had some calls say, hey, can you take that off? That it's public information. And you can find that through the DLGF. You can find it numerous. I kind of GIS to find it, but I'm just bringing it to your attention. It's a new tool that's being offered where you can search by, it'll bring up all the sales for the last 3 years and break it down into good months. You can break it down by dollar amounts, square footage amounts. There's ways to do searches for sales. that might be a benefit. Or, all the homes that were sold in January that sold for $150,000. I'm just throwing that out. So you'll see in the general areas where we already offer sales, but this here makes it a little more convenient. That, like I said, it's a tool that's pretty big in the southern states. It's kind of brand new to Indiana. But like I said, I'm just offering it's a $1,000 setup fee, and that's a one-time fee to set it up. But like I say, when you're looking at economic development, it might help with people. That's up to you guys.
I would suggest myself that if, I'd like to take a look at it before we really
Make a decision.
Here's some copies of what some of the information that you could do some searches for. I just made one copy for everybody here. Just take
So this is a beacon option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another search tool to look through. It'll pull up all the homes in that price range that was sold. It's I think realtors would enjoy it.
I was gonna,
Honestly, but
that's what I was.
Is there a cost for that?
Realtors all to contribute that money.
What's the
They
cost?
would-
$1,000.
well, the other thing I look at is, again, if it can cut down on the people calling into the offices for data, it keeps our people more on task as well, just like what Ben, if you look at the numbers on that sheet, we have like return on investment, for the year.
Yeah.
It's quite substantial. I know the state has been looking at ways to see what our return on investment for the GIS is. They came up with this formula, amount per hour. You see. So when you're looking, that makes people calling us, that would possibly be calling us every day, taking time away from what our current tasks are. So it's quite substantial. And, even internally, if it's used that way, we're still not interrupting fellow employees. So.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Is it a brand new tool that's never been available before, or
Correct.
is this just the first time you're offering it
No, this is kind of a brand new tool. It's like us, it is. It's been offered in the southern states. It seems to be pretty popular in use down
What are
there.
Realtors Association?
Which counties?
Florida, well, it's basically
I think they're part
Okay.
of the Star.
Madison County, Florida is
Allen
one
County.
that you can go to.
Realtors could get them to foot some money.
Other counties have.
It's not a lot of money, but
remember
it
Madison
doesn't
County,
do as much good
No.
as it does them. If we could get them to
I know one of the concerns is, it might increase phone calls to our auditor or our assessor, until people get used to learn how to operate it. And I'll put my phone number down. If there's any questions, they already have access to that, but if there's any need for anybody to learn how to operate it, please walk them through it.
I think Don had a good suggestion here.
I guess it looks to me like we're really helping the realtors out.
Yeah, quite a bit, I think.
And I'm wondering if we can't reach out, if they have an organization, if we can't reach out to them and say, help yourself by helping us.
Yeah, one of the things that, one of the experiences I've had when we're asking for financial help from outside organizations, how it operates and what information is available. And that's one of the things I learned from other counties. So, there's I don't know how you want to look at that, but there is a means of ownership.
What's your thought on that, Matt?
That's exactly what I was thinking, is that my suspicion is that banks, realtors, appraisers, those people would find this really helpful. And that, I hear what Dan's saying, but we could just tell them, look, it's going to be a county program. I don't care that you want ownership of it. You're not
I gotta
gonna
make changes for
We're
you.
maybe going to do it if you're 4 or 5 real estate agencies kicking in a couple $100 and it's paid for.
That's what I'm thinking.
And they
That's what I'm
primarily
thinking.
will be the ones to benefit.
I'd like to make a motion that we table this until our next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a motion to table.
Second.
Got a second? Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next thing I'd really like to see us get through is this account manager, which allows me to have a little more control over the Beacon site, so allowing certain offices to have special permissions to do things with the Beacon, that are areas in Beacon that we can have specialized services for. The street and street department, assessor's office. Manager, that also what goes along with the account manager is I'd like to have a mailing label generator with that only I could set up to say for planning and building purposes. Always times where they're going to have to notify adjacent property owners for certain information. Addresses out, put it right on the sticker, and the stickers.
Be great.
Yeah, that's good.
A considerable amount of time.
No, I'd say it sounds
It
good.
might even work for the street department when they have to the adjacent property owners of that. Really, I know we ran into some, I called a couple other counties and we're want to make that available for internal uses, available to the neighboring county, and up and notified everybody within a subdivision that they're doing some kind of a sale. Data.
What type of use would you need it for, Nathan? This is Nathan Bilger. He's our planning and building director.
As Dan said, our use, since we do have ArcGIS in-house, we actually have access to all the data. So we wouldn't use this, except for the mailing part, too much, but we would create layers that other departments could use that don't have ARC. For example, we could send out that, say, the health department could also access using Beacon, or the sheriff's department could also access. There may be things that the street department has, like upcoming plans for road work in certain locations that other departments could also look at. So it's more about the creators of data sharing it with other places that don't create so much data. And Beacon's a very convenient source of, or way to do that.
There's other ways of doing this, but it's a lot more expensive. System out there that financially be the wisest.
What is the expense or the cost on that then?
It's a $1,000 setup fee and then $12.60 a year.
Does anyone have it in their budget?
Currently, well, I was going to be taking it out of this year's budget until my plotter decided to have a...
Oh, it finally went, huh?
That cost me about $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd make a motion we approve the request.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the manager software for the GIS system, for the Beacon system. We've got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'll get you some more data on that other one.
Great.
You're great, if you don't.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Scott Wagner, house demolition and cleaning.
Gentlemen should receive the paperwork I sent through Jana. Did you, regarding all the court paperwork? And okay. So
I sent it.
you didn't get it?
So, did we?
I didn't see any.
think it was
What is
in-
it? It was in the email, you got it. I
was
sent
that
to all of
email?
you,
Okay.
Angie, and Matt.
That's okay.
I'll tell you.
Just give us an overview here.
So in February of this year, the house at, I think it's 5499 North Fish Hatchery Road, that is the property of Rhonda Leisure. Meth lab was found in that by the Sheriff's Department. Of course, under state law, then the Health Department is responsible for making that domicile livable again. Then in, looks like it was July, we hired Protex to board up the house because it continued to be entered. It had several Sheriff's Department CADs on that. So we do have a bill for that. Then we went to court, and it's been in court probably for 8 months. Finally got a ruling, which should be in the packet, from Judge Fall, giving the county permission to hire a company to demo or clean the house. His actual orders were demolition, but he gave it to the county to decide what they want to do. In that paperwork I sent you, there is a quote for demolition and a quote for cleaning the property by Protex. The demolition quote was $11,700. It's from Weigold Excavating. The cleaning from Protex is $10,850.02. $10,850.02. So the cleaning is about $1,000 cheaper, about $900 cheaper than demoing the structure. I have had interest from several parties wanting to purchase the property. I know that the defendant's husband, who's not on the deed, is trying to negotiate that with a couple people. But that's up to you guys whether you want to do that or just tear down the structure.
Are the people that's interested in property, that would they rather have the building or would they rather have a bare lot?
They would like to have the building. The house is a fairly nice house.
It's really not a
It was
bad house at
rebuilt
all.
probably about 10 years ago after a storm. So it's a fairly nice structure. I do believe that there is water damage. Well, not water damage, but there's standing water in the basement right now because of it's on a community well there and the water lines froze. So I don't know what that looks like. That's only been a couple weeks. But I've had interest of several people inside Whitley County and outside of wanting to purchase that property and want to know how to do that. The current owner, Rhonda Leisure, is in DOC, serving a 6-year term. So she would have to sign off on all that because she's the only registered deed on that. As far as I know, the only lien that is on the property would be anything that we put on it. I don't believe, besides a mortgage, that there's any lien on it.
What's the chances of her signing off?
Well, all I've had is hearsay on what they're asking for, and what they're asking for is quite large compared to what its value is, just because it's a lake house. My concern would be that it would continue to sit there. If we cleaned it, then we know it's no longer a hazard to the property, or if we demoed it, it'd be no longer a hazard to the community. But then we're taking the equity from this person as well.
But if we clean it, she doesn't sign off, it just sits there.
Right, it would go on the tax lien, and we'd have 18 months then to collect that. Or either go to tax sale, and it might stand to make a little bit of money on that.
So after 18 months, then we can legally sell it because of the tax sale?
Correct.
Size of the lot?
It's pretty small. I'd say 50 foot if you're lucky by 80.
50 by 80 probably.
Yeah. It's on the east side of Shriner Lake, so the house, then the road, then the lake itself.
It's really not on the lake.
No.
And
It's across the road?
They've got access
Right.
to the lake.
You know where it's at?
I don't know that they have deeded access. That's one of those.
No, that isn't deeded.
DNR type of, is it deeded for sure?
No.
Yes, the
No.
DNR permission to give everybody permission. So it
Yeah.
doesn't really have deeded access.
That's
You-
a
you want
gray
to buy
area
it?
because they say that the county owns that.
No, do you want it? You want to buy it?
No. It's a nice house. I'd hate to see it demolished because
I
it
think
is a
chances are
nicer
good. We
house.
probably could
Yeah.
if they became more reasonable
Yeah.
about the price and the fact that it has to be cleaned and refurbished and all that stuff. Not only does it to clean, but you got to take everything out of there. And if you look at the report, some of the locations were significantly high. The state code minimum level is 0.05 centimeters squared per microliter, and we have places that were in the hundreds.
Of what?
Meth contamination.
From,
Yeah, so it's been
how do you get it that high? Spill it?
over and over use again.
Well, the way it looks, we're either going to spend $11,700 or we're going to spend $10,850, one of the two.
I move we spend the money to clean it. We got a more chance of collecting than we do for tear down.
Okay, I've got a motion to spend $10,850 for the cleaning of the property on Shriner Lake.
You better second it, because I'm for demolition.
You want tear down?
And, okay,
okay.
I'll
It's okay.
second it for discussion.
Yeah. I just think it's probably better, a better lot and a new structure is probably better than cleaning it.
I'm not sure that they could even build a structure there again.
That would be a question for Nathan.
Yeah.
They're going to have some setbacks there. I think the existing house was able to be rebuilt because of the non-conforming structure to begin with.
Is an empty lot worth $11,000?
I would
For
assume.
neighbors.
If it can be
The
built.
neighbors would split it up
If it can
probably
be
as well.
built, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
For sure. The neighbors to the south there would not be able to afford it at this time.
No.
But if it was a buildable lot, sure, at Trail Lakes, $11,000 for sure. But
Because there is sewer available, but the water is the issue there.
yes, it's on a community well. I do believe several of those houses have gotten their private wells drilled on their property. It did require exemptions to get those wells drilled, simply because we have a steep incline on the west side from the lake. You can't get a rig to set up their level. But we probably could, this probably, since it's at the end of the street, there probably would be a location to drill a well there if they wanted to get off the community well.
After hearing further discussion, I withdraw my motion.
Okay, initial motion was withdrawn. I'll withdraw at this point.
I'm sorry. I'm more mixed up than I was, so I don't.
Let me offer my 2 cents, I guess.
Go ahead.
Here's my thought, is that if you demolish it, there's no incentive for the owner to do anything. And it will, for sure, be 18 months before you get paid back. Because she's not going to get anything out of it. She basically gets zero because she's not going to be able to sell it for much more than the lien that we're going to put on the property. Maybe a little bit more. If we don't tear it down, then at some point, somebody hopefully gets motivated enough to sell the property and we get paid back sooner because now you've got something to sell.
A house.
A house. You have a house that we've cleaned up and we put a $10,000 or $12,000 lien on it. I think that's how I would think about it, just in terms of how quickly you want to get paid back. And I mean, I live out there as well, and I would agree with George. It's not a house but for this that you would be thinking, let's tear this down. There's a lot of other houses out there that would be way in order of, tear on down before this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, the other consequence is potentially property taxes. Let's say, no matter what, 18 months it turns around, if ultimately it's just going to end up as a bare lot for one of the neighbors, then you've also eliminated property tax revenue by having the house still be there, because then you've got a vacant lot as opposed to a house that's probably valued at $100,000 or something for property.
Are the taxes up?
Let me ask a couple of more questions so I have this clear in my mind. What I remember about meth houses is that the drywall has to go. This embeds itself in the drywall.
Some locations, typically, if it's not too bad, they can wash that, triple wash that. But in some of these locations, if you actually want to see a copy of the report, I can give it to you.
Oh, I think we got it here.
But
it's pretty in depth.
Yeah, there's.
They went room by room on this thing.
And that's what you have to understand. We have to look at that. But again, some of the levels will require drywall removal, just because the levels are so high. you'd spend too much time trying to clean it, and you'd wear off the drywall.
Okay, so then, my follow-up then is, if it requires drywall removal, does somebody put the new drywall up? Or are we gonna have this house with chunks of drywall missing? I have to have an idea what this house is gonna look like when we're
To
done.
me, it doesn't say that. When you look at the quote, especially if you look at the back page when it talks about invoicing it, and the cost for their taxes on the equipment, or excuse me, on the materials, not very high. So it appears to me is we're paying for them to eliminate the meth hazard in the home. So if drywall has to be removed, that drywall stays removed. And so whoever bought that would have to go in and put drywall back up.
Okay, but you guys feel like it's a better piece of merchandise?
I do.
With the house there?
Yes. It's
All right,
not a bad house.
okay.
It does look like they are maybe a year behind on property taxes already. And so the
All right.
turnaround will be quicker because it only has to be 18 months.
Yeah.
So it could be next year's tax sale.
I'll second
But,
if you want to
you know.
make a motion again.
Where were you at before I made my motion the first time?
I agreed with your motion the first time, but I get it either way. I mean,
All right,
and thinking about the whole thing through at the end of the day.
hey, you're familiar with it.
I drive by it twice a day.
We got several people that if it was more reasonable price, they would buy it in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Move again, we clean it.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the $10,872.63
Second.
for cleaning of the property on Shriner Lake. We've got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
I think, and I'm sorry for
That's all right.
muddling it up, but I just think I had to have some more information. I'm sorry we didn't have this.
Well, that's fine.
Or
And I
we may have, and I just didn't see it, so.
I'll also include on that, when you turn in the paper for the lane, the $358.68 for the boarding up from the same company.
I saw that in there,
Turn that
so.
in too.
That's pretty reasonable.
They were there within 24 hours.
Wow, that's Protect?
They're actually 1-800 board up, but they're the private franchisee
Oh.
Fort Wayne for that
Yeah,
national
okay.
company.
Okay.
They live about a block away.
Is that Kenny?
No, she was.
Ken Kuzi, 1-800 board up?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, thanks, Scott.
That it?
That's fine. I'll be back at the January meeting regarding the Streckler Road property about quotes. I can't find any contractor that's willing to put anybody out before Christmas. So if we don't get a submission for a bid, then we'll probably go back to court for just to get them out of the house.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Amy Biggs? Oh, okay. Okay.
Have her on here.
You don't have yours?
I'd forgotten that. I knew she was coming.
Okay. Deb Darr, signature on discretionary vouchers.
Deb is really a short timer, you know.
Yeah. We hate to see you go.
I would like to take a second and
Yeah.
introduce my replacement. This is Becky Saloway.
Becky? Congratulations.
Yep, congratulations.
Thank you. Pretty simple. It's just that spot right there.
Okay.
This time. This is for the rest of the surveillance equipment.
Oh, okay. This is for a grant.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is the balance on that. We have been able to finish the cameras in the vehicles as
Yep.
well as do some other surveillance equipment for the property
Yep.
itself. So.
I think you may have helped yourself, well, you not, because you're a short timer, but you may have really helped Becky out a lot there. I think that's a good,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we approve the voucher.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the grant voucher. We've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
We appreciate all that you've done.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
You gotta come back and see us.
First and third Monday, anytime you want to come.
And you know what? I really do enjoy these meetings.
Do I need blue ink or?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. State grants, blue ink,
No, but
blue ink.
it's here if you want them.
I'll scan this in an email and mail it back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, today. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Dan.
much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have Shelbi Brown, Relay for Life proposal. It's American Cancer Society.
Yes, Shelby is absent.
Shelby's actually not here. I'm with the American Cancer Society, but Shelby isn't here. So
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure.
Come on up here and
Oh,
have a seat and talk to us.
her proposal though,
You're representing her then?
I'm not, but I can. My job. So I work with the American Cancer Society, and what our proposal was to use the courthouse area surrounding Circle to actually host Relay of Whitley County this year. There's a 5, 6, 7-person event leadership team that puts it on every year. The proposal date was for June 22nd. Sorry, I'm doing this all by memory and I don't have the paper.
Yep.
Thank you.
Did you
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. She did this and she is amazing.
Is that
So I'm
Saturday?
kind of not sure where she is. So I hope she's
Usually
okay.
it's fine.
So Relay for Life works with the American Cancer Society, and what we do is raise money for services for those who have cancer or even caregivers to call ahead and get some help as far as emotional support and even resources available for them. But the biggest thing that ACS really does is that research, that huge research. We really, last year, Whitley County raised $12,863, and that's amazing. So we're hoping to double that this year by having it in a more prime real estate location, having the more community awareness. We unfortunately only served one person in Whitley County last year, and that is 100% because of exposure. Not a lot of people realize that ACS is still here, we have services, and that we also serve Whitley County. The person that we used, they asked for transportation services to Fort Wayne, and so we provided them about 65 rides for a year. So that's pretty good, but it could be more, and we have the resources for more. So the reason we wanted to do the prime real estate more was to let them know that. But we also celebrate our survivors. I'm a 2-time survivor. I was diagnosed when I was 17 and when I was 23. And to know that there's people that have gone through it with me in my community is amazing. It definitely, we all know what those purple t-shirts are. If you come to Relay, you get a purple t-shirt as a survivor. And we all know that their story's similar, but we don't have to talk about it. And we get to have a fun day where the community does come together and experience just happy around something that's so tragic. The Luminaria ceremony is my favorite thing of the whole day. You have to bring Kleenex. And what it is, people who didn't survive and people who are fighting. We make a bag and our families decorate those bags for people, and then we put them around, and just think about it on the courthouse. We would put it around the courthouse, light them up, no fire. We're not going to start fires this year. And at night, we turn them all on, and we read the names one by one in silence. And that's my favorite part of the whole day, because that's the reason we did it. We raised all this money before the event, and yet here's why. It's so we don't have to make another bag next year. We don't have to read our family member's name and cry as we walk around in silence. We will be able to have our kids not have to hear, you have cancer. So again, she was saying that the proposal date was June 22nd. And if you look at the back, it talks about what is asked of you guys. We have normally had it at a high school, and Relay we need different. And Albion does it on their square, and the community comes out. The community wants to see these kind of events. They want the awareness, but they also want something where their family can come out and experience it. So they're asking for the use of the courthouse square, use of sidewalks at courthouse square, and electricity from the square at different substations. And then they also would like permission to decorate light poles 1 week prior to the event, purple. Purple's for all cancer, so we want to celebrate all cancers. And then they're asking for the City of Columbia City to have a closure of Chauncey Street between Van Buren Street and Market Street for the hours of noon to midnight. And then, again, use of sidewalks at courthouse, permission to decorate light poles and street signs. We will stay on the sidewalk, we'll stay in the area, so it's not like we're really going to be out in the middle of the roads. But it's more of the fun and games. We have teams, so a lot of businesses create teams, and we walk the tracks. We are celebrating. Then for me, I would be doing part of their marketing and PR research. Event insurance policies and liabilities would also come from ECS.
I'm real familiar
Yes.
with Relay for Life in the football field
Yes.
atmosphere. Lots of pop-ups, lots of tents, lots of people. I'm having trouble visualizing that crowd on the courthouse square.
So Albion is the closest city that does something similar. Sorry. And they have a few popped-up tents, but the team tent thing is kind of dying down. It used to be where people decorated them and really got into
it was really a big function.
And that's where we want to go back to. Last year we had relay inside the school, walking around some of the lockers and into the gym, and it was okay, but we really want to get bigger. We want to bring that livelihood, that excitement, that, again, just the community being there and being with each other. Whitley County is strong but mighty, and that's definitely what I look at when I have 6 other relays. I know Whitley County, the people who are part of that leadership, they're strong. I rarely get to, like, the fact that Shelbi's not here, this is probably the first time I've seen her in like 4 months, because I trust her, and I trust the leadership. And they are really, it's their heart, and we want to bring that back, the fun. That's the biggest thing, is the innovation. They did a color run, and that was really fun and exciting. And it just shows that people want something different. And so having it in such a prominent area would really make sure we're still here. We want to help you.
Good.
And that's why they wanted to have this proposal.
I'm sorry, I missed your name.
Amanda Joseph. I'm sorry.
Okay. Amanda? Okay.
I don't think I said it.
Amanda, we don't have electricity.
Okay.
That would be...
The cities.
What we have is, our gazebo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's an outlet there.
Okay.
Belongs to the city.
Okay.
So you would have to
go and
get
ask them.
permission to use that. Otherwise, because we don't run cords out from the courthouse or
Makes
anything on
sense.
a closed day. So
That's similar to what Albion had to do. They have a gazebo similar, and we asked for permission.
So Albion has done this on the courthouse
They have,
square.
and it was really nice. One of the things that they did was a We're Tired of Cancer campaign, so we had businesses make things out of tires. So one is recycling, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they made statues, and the businesses put them out in a silent auction, and we made like $500 just from tires that people had lying around, which they can't recycle.
Good.
So it was a really cool, different, and that's what we were trying to bring into Whitley. We really want to double, and we know Whitley County can double what they brought in last year.
Amanda, where would they walk then?
It would be mostly the sidewalks. We would make sure they're safe, of course.
Okay.
And then they'll go, again, the liability insurance and stuff. They do sign waivers when they register to be relayers. And then team captains, we do recruit. We had 13 team captains last year. We're doubling that. We've already got 16 ready to go. So that would be those tents that you were talking about.
So you'd Chauncey Street, both sides.
Yes.
Cross at Main, cross at Market.
Right.
Just make this.
Yes. It's a smaller crowd. They said they were expecting, if you saw on her goals, 250 participants. That's really reasonable. We had about 185 in the school, so it's very reasonable. We do have the celebration where we have a survivor dinner, and that's before the event. So we expect about 50 survivors to come out, and they really get to have their day. They're purple. And they're also looking at a color fundraiser, but that is completely separate at this moment.
Does Mark know anything about this? Okay. Our maintenance person, he would have to sign off on this. So they haven't made out the official form yet.
No, this was just her first step was contacting us. Second step was to go back and get a proposal because it was pretty significant, and it does involve a lot with the city as well.
does.
And Matt reminded us, farmers market will be going on by that time too. You know, that'll be on.
This starts at noon, I think, doesn't it?
Well, the setup would start at 10. The event itself is, I said, 4 to 10 is what I think is what she wrote.
I'm sorry, the event's what?
4 to 10?
4 PM to 10 PM?
Yeah, opening ceremonies are at 4, so people would start coming about 3.
Weren't they 24 hours?
They were, but we know we're all too busy. We all have a lot of different things that are asking
Yeah,
for our
okay.
attention.
Well, then, no, that would
Yes.
make a big, that's where you had to have the
lighting.
tents and the pop-ups and stuff.
Oh,
Okay, okay, I get you there.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter, Whitley County, and the way that they pack their schedule, the people are going to be busy. They
Yeah.
do a super awesome job
Okay.
about their scheduling.
So I guess we need Mark involved, we need the official form.
Right.
And probably wait to hear how, what class Columbia City has to say. You haven't been to Columbia City yet?
I think it's on her, she's on the schedule.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, when you look at, for Whitley County, the use of Courthouse Square, that is ours.
That's
but
us.
Sidewalks, really, I think,
It's
are the
not us.
city.
Big city,
That's
okay.
city.
And the electricity is the city, and the permission to decorate the light poles is also the city.
We can move all that down.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But we've got a form that you'll just have to fill out, and,
I'm good at the forms.
okay, great.
That's what they have me.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for pinch hitting.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So any further contact? Do I?
Amanda.
Shelbi?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Amanda Joseph.
Thank you.
Do you want my email address or phone number?
Please, if you could give that, maybe give it to Angie, please.
Sorry, I didn't mean to kick that.
Okay, Brandon's not going to be here.
Here
Nathan,
is
did you
what
have
I
something?
for the commissioners.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
That was all that's prepared for.
Nathan's looking at you, thinking.
Oh.
You want to cover the calendar?
You go right ahead. It's all yours. I just brought it.
When did you get so bashful?
This is all Nathan's gig. I just said I wanted to hang it on my wall. I would have preferred it a good month ago, but I'm not going to be critical.
I agree. As you, I think, maybe know, we held a photo contest for the county wall calendar, which would replace the one that's back there now. And since I've done that one the last couple of years, I've got all the files put it together and stuff. But we held the photo contest so that I wouldn't be the one taking the photo, basically. And so with that, George and Jana and Paula, thank you, were the selection committee, and Angie and I also were there. 6 different people, 6 different employees who submitted photos.
Some great
We're selecting one, which this is the photo that was selected. We're all Schrader was selected. And then because this is the first year and because all the other photos were really neat and because they all represent different aspects of county life, the suggestion was made to
Turn them around for the...
suggestion was made to the order of the other
Yeah,
photos.
great
as well. idea.
Great
So
idea.
everybody gets credit.
Is that up Tri Lakes or where's that at?
Yes, this is Shriner Lake. It's a setting sun. It's not a sunset, as Laurel explained, but it's a setting sun, and she was able to capture the composition really nicely there. So we had a couple different lake photos, but the others represent agriculture, represent government, all sorts of different things. There's one of Old Settlers Days in there too. So
It was tough for us all because of the fact that there were such great pictures that people have taken, and
you for that.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't have to take a picture.
So this, this was plotted out. It was actually, this one was a test of the repaired plotter. That's one of the last ones that was on the unrepaired plotter. So there's smudges and stuff on that one. What I'm looking at doing, Shindigs can print these for about $11 a piece. This is smaller than the old one.
Yeah.
It's a standard poster size, so it should fit better. And if you wanted to get a frame, what we were looking at doing is printing enough for all the different departments, which I believe give or take should be enough. And then for those who have smaller spaces, I also created an 11 by 17 version without the yellow background that could just be printed as well, because there was also call.
That's a great idea.
Good.
So with your blessing on that, I'll go ahead and put in the order with Shindigs, and it should be here by the new year.
Make a motion, we approve that request.
Motion to approve, second. Further discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Now, see, you could have had all the glory, Angie.
You know that's not me.
Nathan, thank you for helping me with the department listing. We talked about for board appointments.
Yes.
That's not dead, I just haven't moved on it yet, but.
Yeah, I'm still compiling that too, still waiting to hear from a couple others.
Good.
And
Thank
what
you.
I've tried to do is include everybody in the county, so.
That's
because
great.
There's a lot of overlap on
Sure it is. Thank you.
Yes, that helps.
When we get it done, it'll be right, so.
Yeah. And then won't have to remember ever again.
Get one extra one of those and I'll pay for it.
I would like to buy one of the smaller ones.
We'll talk, Nathan, we'll talk about the ordering after.
Yeah, we'll
And
come up with
budget
it.
and,
We'll come out of our, I don't know what that one was.
How much are these, you know?
that's fine.
That's a proof copy, so you just have it.
Oh,
You throw something in the pot or something.
Sure.
Buy coffee.
But we'll send you an invoice, how about that?
Yeah. Boy, those are nice. Those are, what a great bunch of pictures. Sorry you had to do that.
That was tough, it really was. We took some time on that.
And if I can spend here for a quick moment.
Oh,
sure.
The talk about tax sale properties, I haven't brought this up to any of you yet. It was coincidental. You guys own a property in Collins that's about 25 feet square.
yeah.
Have since the early 70s. You want to do anything with it?
Was it part of the railroad?
No, it was one that was bought at tax sale because nobody bought it. So the county assumed ownership of it. And
What's on it, weeds?
old foundation. Yep.
That's worse than
Can
nothing.
we contact the neighbors to see if any of them would be interested in?
That, I believe, I'll work with Matt if you want, but I believe that would be the least costly option because that avoids, if you sell it to a neighbor, that avoids having to put it up for bidding. And the
You can
value of it-
transfer them to the neighbors, kind of free of charge.
Just give it to somebody.
the value is
Moving
so
fruit
low on that
trees?
small property. But
Yeah.
we
Might as
came
well-
across it when we were dealing
Yes,
with violation up there.
moving apple
as
trees or
adjacent property owners, so
Might as well get some taxes out of it.
Heck yeah.
Get rid of the liability.
Heck yeah.
always at that.
It only took 40 years to decide we owned it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan.
Okay, claims.
We'll do the claims today and just didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
They've been doing great.
That would start, yeah, I think so too. Are we in full-blown submit your own claim now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But that's why I see some real misspellings in it too, so, but that's, I'm just throwing it out there. But that's pretty cool. But first I would start by making a motion, we approve the payroll claim.
Got a motion to approve payroll claims. We got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Can I have one of these?
Sure. We got 3 of them here.
Then I would make a motion, we approve the regular claims, because I didn't see anything
Motion to approve regular claims.
Second.
Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
So you could tell it was conference time, though.
Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Lots, not just us. I mean,
Okay, you've been provided minutes for December 3rd, 2018. Any amendments, changes?
I make the motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
Got a motion to approve the December 3rd, 2018 minutes as presented?
Well, I was absent. You're going to have to second.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. One abstention.
This is so cool.
Okay, right-of-way permits. Hey, you've got some, and I've got some here, too. Is that?
Why don't you go with yours?
Okay, let's start these. Okay, the first one I have here is for 600 South 600 East, East 300 South Raber Road, South 50 East, and it's going to be part of the Force Main project for the city of Columbia City.
Move approval.
A second.
Got a motion, we got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
But did that say Raver Road too?
Yeah.
Wow, they may be a little premature there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was approved by Brandon. Okay, the next one I have is for 350 South in Columbia City. And the work is at 2311 West, 350 South, Columbia City. It's a bore under the 350 South to place wire on new service order.
Is that the phone company?
That is CenturyLink.
Move to approve it.
Motion to approve. Got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. This all for the
Fiber optic.
Oh, it's fiber optic?
Yeah, fiber. Approved this morning.
Say, oh, I think I got signed, sorry. I'll wake up.
It said Fort Wayne to Wawaka, but
I
it
see
goes
that.
all around Blue Lake.
Ah, okay.
It wasn't a very direct route out from Fort Wayne to Wawaka.
Hey, if we get fiber optic, I don't care, all right? And I had nothing to do with it, but it does go by my house. Sort of. Is that all you had?
That's all I had.
Okay, well, this is one sheet of 63 here. This is from the Zayo Corporation, Zayo Group, and they are indeed running fiber optic. This is Churubusco here south, going to come up 375 to the west to 850, run it up to across 205, and then run it, Anderson to 800, and then do the east side of Blue Lake, 550 north, run it down that way, catch the east shore of Blue Lake, catch the north shore of Blue Lake, up to 600 north, goes all the way there, and I'm not sure what road this is, but so it just kind of skirts around Musco.
Huh, I'm surprised they aren't doing something around Tri-Lakes. Yeah, they're right there.
That'll be next month.
But this one just came out of the blue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is nothing that you've ever been on, okay.
Nope.
The engineering is Spectrum Engineering out of Auburn, Indiana, so.
Nope.
Yeah, it came out of the blue. Hang on a minute, I want to make sure that I can take. Yeah, Brandon approved it.
Yeah, we approved this morning in drainage.
Okay. All right, so.
Okay, can we do this as a one-time deal, or do we have to go through each one of the 63?
Yeah, well, I think you could probably do them. They're all on one. Is there 63 separate right-of-way permits?
There's not 63 separate, but there must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packets.
This,
For each ditch, there's a separate packet, is that it? Or for each road?
each road, I don't know.
Sorry, I still have my drainage board hat on.
Yeah, no, I don't know how they broke
I
it
would
up.
do them maybe by each.
Maybe
road,
there's
yeah.
6, no, they're all the same. I think it's to each contractor or something.
So, this top one says it's east 575 north, north 650 east, east 600 north, and north 450 east.
So that's for the whole thing then?
Yeah, that's the
that
whole
one.
thing. They all,
Oh, it's, you know what, it's probably just 6 copies of the same thing.
It is not.
No.
These are different. This one's different. Well, now that's the same. No, that's the same
You
road.
probably got
Just 3 copies.
No, that's the same road.
copies
Okay,
of two
okay.
different
Because
permits.
Brandon makes them give 3 copies.
Yeah.
3 copies of 2 different projects.
There you go.
So
Maybe
that's
just
what
do
we're
it.
dealing with here. I'd make a motion, we approve the project.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve.
second,
Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
how many places, we gotta dig through and find all them places to sign
I'm
this?
afraid so.
Just be 3, though.
Oh, you'll have 3 in that packet. I have 3 here. Yeah, it's not quite that bad, so. Installing fiber optic cable for increasing Zayo bandwidth. That means absolutely nothing to me.
And this is all buried.
I don't know, man.
Right.
I'll have to show that to John, because we've been working with another company.
Well,
This
I
is,
think the town of Churubusco's been working with another company.
They have been, yeah.
So I'm like, you know,
this is just one that's using us, going across us.
Well, it would make sense if they
I think everybody ought to
provide
get,
service.
I think everybody ought to get together and
I think it's a bit of a race, suspicious. So, which is, you know,
hopefully
a
it's,
little competition's a good thing, I think.
hopefully it's less than $800 a month like the last people promised me.
735.
735, okay. Hey, can't beat it, can it? Yeah, put a red pen, I'll draw a line to right here.
Well, you probably ought to be able to negotiate that.
Negotiate it, yeah, whatever. There's the map that goes with it.
We killed some trees there. Okay. Angie?
Okay, the first thing is I'm actually making a formal request to receive the cell phone stipend.
Okay, got a formal request from Angie for cell phone stipend of $30 a month.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, we got a second.
Who for?
Angie?
Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same. Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, so last meeting we discussed the request to use our parking lot for the Bloodmobile on January 18th. I actually have the official form. They'll just be blocking off parking spots for the Bloodmobile.
Back here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve. Got a second. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same.
There's that one. With the transition to Odyssey, they are requesting, Debbie made the first request, so I'm not as concerned about that one. They will be using the basement from May 1st through the 17th for 2 sessions daily for training with Odyssey.
I'm sorry. Tell me about Odyssey again.
That's the e-filing for the courts, but it'll involve probation, prosecutor, community correction, superior court,
Auditors.
circuit court. It shouldn't.
Who's they? You said they will be. Does that mean the clerk's office?
Odyssey.
Oh,
And the
Connie.
clerk- Yeah.
Odyssey
Okay.
putting it on for that group
Okay.
of people. Okay.
Yes, so the clerk has reserved the basement because they need to have a projection. They need to be hardwired for the laptops. They are requesting that the room be locked at night. So there's a lot going on with that. But in addition to that, I was also contacted by Kathy Wasson from the Indiana Supreme Court Trial Court Technicians, who also will be holding workshops in this facility for court clerks and, I don't know, BMV submissions. Debbie wasn't familiar with this, but they are requesting to use this building, basement room A and B, February 26th and the 27th. They think they'll only have between 20 and 30 participants and Wi-Fi.
Conflicts that you know of?
No, I went ahead and reserved the room just to ensure there wouldn't be conflicts, but if not, I can remove it.
Okay.
But we do have a slight conflict with,
Odyssey.
yes, but that's only one date, and
I'll make a motion to approve the Circuit Supreme Court, whatever that. Watch's request.
Whatever your motion is, I second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the county clerk training and BMV training, and that's February
26th and 27th.
26th and 27th. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same. Thank you.
So you want to tell us about the conflict?
No, because I'm hoping it's on, Nathan's already looking into it, but it may be, we may have to move City BZA and Plan Commission and County Plan Commission either upstairs to room C or in this room for those evening meetings if those rooms are required to be locked when sessions
I
aren't.
think they'd want to be, because they'll have a lot of equipment in those rooms.
And then we also have, Craig Wagner holds his monthly
Yep, he has his
on his
building
Friday,
inspectors.
but it may be on their off month, so we're still waiting to see how that works into the equation. But I went ahead and reserved those rooms for Debbie because it's kind of a massive undertaking with Odyssey. I was supposed to have them already, but in regards to the mobile mammography, also reserving parking spots. She said she faxed it. I didn't receive it, but she's not the only person that said they faxed me stuff and I didn't receive. So I've contacted her again, and I should get the formal request for, what was that, March? I can't remember right now, but yeah, March 13th. So when I have that form.
You still need to take action on Odyssey, right?
No, because since it was Debbie requesting it for the county, I didn't make Odyssey fill out a request, since it was county departments using county facilities.
Okay.
That
You're
was
just
more as
FYIing it.
exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
But the court one was the one that,
Okay. Yeah, because that's an out of.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
since it was the
I got
Supreme
you.
Court. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
That's all I had.
Jenna?
I don't believe I don't have anything. I was gonna ask about your emails. Can you guys look back through your emails and see if you did get it? Because if you didn't, I need to contact Preferred IT.
Are you talking about the Scott thing?
Like the entire packet. Yep. If you guys didn't get it.
Okay, I got it. Couldn't open it. That's my problem. I can't get it open. That's my issue. I wish I could tell you what it says. I get a box and it says, how do you want to open it? And I tell how I want to open it. It won't open for me. So.
Commissioner? Commissioner?
Me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have anything?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah, whatever it takes. Enjoy the festivities and be safe.
Is that it? And we have, I just wanted to point out that we, our unified group services, our trust fund, we right now have $419,279.80 in that trust fund, and we paid, I think, 2 payments out of that so far for this year. So our individuals are doing very well with their wellness and using the programs that we've asked them to use. Other than that, I don't have anything. Anyone in the public have anything that they'd like to say? Call for the question?
Motion adjourned.
Got a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second?
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.